Hi everyone, it's Brave here again. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone around the world is having a great day or night or evening. God bless you all. I just wanted to come back with a few more positive words, helpful tips and advice to implement in your life. So here goes. Don't focus on the ones who hate you, focus on the ones who don't. That is really important. Instead of thinking, why don't they like me? Why don't these people like me? I didn't do anything to them. You already are answering your question. You didn't do anything to them. They are jealous because they see in you good qualities. They see in you things they lack in themselves. So they are hating in you what they lack in themselves. So if you're kind, you're strong, you're always helping, you're generous, you help people financially or emotionally or physically, like say someone was homeless and you made sure that they could come and stay with you as long as they like, free of charge, that you're always helping. Now they know they would never ever do that for anyone, so then they're jealous almost of the fact that you're so good, you're so kind. It makes them feel less than, and that's not you provoking that in them, that's their jealousy telling them they're not good enough or they're not pretty enough, or they are making it up in their own mind, that there's a problem with you when there isn't one. Like, I've literally gone to, say, a brand new job and I don't know anyone there, so we could never have any beef or any problem. Never met you. I come in smiling, respectful, you know, and because I'm dressed well, I dressed for the job, but everyone else there is slovenly and scruffy, haven't even brushed their hair, brushed their teeth, looking like Jabba the Hutt, on a hot day. I mean, like, why are you upset with me that I made sure I had a shower, brushed my teeth, combed my hair, put on nice perfume? What are you upset with me for? That you're lazy and have poor hygiene? What has that got to do with me? It's like, I remember, people just coming up to me like, I don't like you. I don't know what it is about you, but I don't like you. And I was like, bitch, I don't like you either. I mean, I didn't have a problem with you until you came up and told me you didn't like me. But now that I see that you're a weird person who just hates people for no reason, now you've given me a reason to hate you. And now I will give you a reason to hate me because you didn't have one before. You just made it up. And come to find out, they're just jealous that I dressed well, or I did my hair, or I wore a pretty necklace. And these are all things they could do. These are all girls who, they're not ugly. They could put some gel in their hair and put a nice hairstyle in, and put on some pretty jewelry. Like, I wasn't rich that I was wearing Versace and Gucci clothes. I was just wearing the local high street clothes, or clothes from the market. Or, I mean, I was even so good at, like, on the sewing machine, I would make my own clothes, like in the latest style that matched whatever was on the runways or whatever. But it was just because I seemed to be happy in my own skin and confident. And it wasn't anything that I was doing that was like, oh, I'm so much better than everyone, look at me, pick me. Not at all. I hated people noticing me, but because I'm so tall and unique looking, people always noticed me. I couldn't go unnoticed even if I wanted to. I could try and sit at the back of a room and not get noticed, but the whole room would be like, who's that woman at the back of the room? It's like, it's not my fault. You're choosing to project onto me, good or bad. And I'm just trying to mind my own business and wish everyone well. So it's very odd. I've had so many weird experiences, like, ugh, in my life. Anyway, and I've even had men be jealous of me. Like, I'm a female, a straight female. Why are straight males jealous of me? But jealous that I'm so strong, stronger than them mentally. I'll stand up for people and not be afraid of anything. I'll protect people at risk to myself. And they wouldn't, and that makes them feel bad and weak, because they know, as men, society expects them to be tough and fearless, and a lot of them aren't. They're just weak and self-centered, some of them. Yeah, but another thing that I wanted to say is, never be embarrassed to struggle. There is no shame in working hard and overcoming difficulties to get where you want to be. Because what is the embarrassment in, you know, working, and obviously we're not going to always have perfect moments. So if you struggle, at least you're trying. I'd rather try and fail or try and struggle than to sit there and do nothing. At least I tried. Even if I try and fail 1,000 times, I will try 1,000 more times until I get things the way I need them to be. So stop telling people what's going on with your private life as well. That's something I've learned. When you're always just trusting people with your gossip of your life or whatever, not gossip, the details, they will gossip and take back your private details to someone else. You might tell them something embarrassing happened to you, or embarrassing health issue, or secrets. You tell people around you your secrets, and sometimes people will be jealous of you just for your success, or even if it's something little. Like, I remember when years ago, when I was a teenager, and I was working and studying, but I saved up so much money that I could afford to take myself on holiday to Barbados. And you should have seen how jealous people I didn't know were. Even though they had the same amount of money or more, they could go. There was nothing stopping them traveling around the world. But it took me longer to save up my money because, I was studying as well. And, so I was working half working, half studying. But these were people who were working full time. They could take their money and go on holiday, but they were just not willing to arrange these things. I don't know why. But then even when I went to the doctor to get the injections against, like, foreign diseases, or diseases in tropical climates or whatever that we don't have so much in England, malaria or potential things. So you get a vaccination, they call it, against, it's like a preventative thing, just in case you get bit by a mosquito that has malaria, you've got the shot already, the vaccine or whatever, to counter it. And the woman said, "Oh, going anywhere nice?" And I said, "Yeah, Barbados." And you should have saw her face. She was so annoyed and angry. And she goes, "Oh, must be nice." And she said it really, like, nasty and sarcastic. And I said, "Well, I had worked hard for it. It's not like anyone gave me anything. It took me years to save up the money. And, like, it took me a year or two to save up the money, because I didn't want to, like, just use the first paycheck I got. I waited quite a few months, made sure there was enough money saved to the side that when I come back, my bank account's not empty. And then I did want to take one or two family members, and I helped pay for them, or give them a loan or whatever. And because I was so young, like a teenager, this fat old woman who had a rubbish job, she was annoyed that at her old age she hadn't achieved anything or done anything, still in the same dead end job. But then I'm a teenager and I've managed to do more than she's done, or that's how she viewed it, I think. Even though, well, how do you know what I've been through or what I haven't been through? You don't know anything about me. And what's stopping you saving up and going on holiday? I don't know your life. I don't know if you got a drug habit, a gambling habit. What is the reason you don't have extra money? If I'm a teenager and I can put aside a couple paychecks, half of the paychecks, and within a year or two I've got enough money to go on. It was a discounted holiday though as well, so it's not like I'm staying in a 5-star hotel, flying on Concorde or first class. These were all, everything was discounted as well, so that helped as well. And then I'm not going alone, so there's other people pooling our money together as well. But yeah, that was something I always noticed, that don't even tell people too many of your personal achievements or what's going on. Even though you want to believe they would clap for you and be happy for you, they can be secretly jealous and plot against you and send that negative energy towards you. Even so much so that if they have any psychic gifts or abilities that they don't know about, you can receive psychic attacks. You can feel like you get nightmares where someone's scratching you and attacking you, and that's because they're focusing constantly all their negative energy on you all the time. Because I have psychic gifts and psychic abilities, but I don't use them against other people. I don't focus on other people because I know they will feel it. If I focus on someone and say, oh, I hate that bitch, I hate that bastard, they did this to me, they did that to me, they will feel it, and they will get nightmares, and but obviously it's hard sometimes not to focus on people who have done bad things to you. But I try my very best to just not do that. But it's not easy. I'm not saying I've never thought badly about anyone for an extended period of time, because that's not true. I have, but I try not to. I'm not saying I succeed every time, but yeah. So by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. Now that is really, really true. I prepare a lot because I know that preparing makes it so much easier for you to have everything ready and know in advance what to expect. And in life, when people are very careless and they don't prepare any backup plan, for what if I get divorced, what if my husband dies, what if I lose my job. Why has no one got any kind of backup plan? They're just like, oh well, I'm just going to live in the moment. Yeah, but it's not that hard to work out that, well, something could happen to me or my husband, or I could lose my job, then we wouldn't have a house. Like, why wouldn't you put preemptive, safety nets up? I mean, that, saying, by failing to prepare, you are preparing to fail. You can, interpret that in many different ways, but I interpret it as have backup plans, have plan B, have safety nets, even for the things you don't hope to encounter or experience, because there are lots of things we cannot control. How people will say expect the unexpected. Control as much as you can, where you can. Also, rowing harder doesn't help if the boat is going the wrong direction. And that's exactly true. If you're going towards a goal, but it's a dead end goal, or it's not going to uplift you or improve your life or increase anything, any success for you and your family, why work so hard at something that's not helpful? People will stay in a marriage they hate, that makes them miserable, that makes their kids miserable. So you're fighting so hard to save something that's not worth saving. You're flogging a dead horse. There's no reason for you to not take the initiative, get the divorce, and then you would be happier co-parenting when you're not in the house with someone you don't like. Living two separate lives in the same house because you got a mortgage, because you're too scared to go and sell the house and split the money and go your separate ways. That is just delaying the inevitable. It is going to end, but it's going to end badly, because you're going to have years of resentment. And I don't understand people who choose to stay for the kids, because then when the kids become adults, they say, well, I never wanted you to stay for me. It was miserable seeing you two hating each other and living separate lives, in front of us. Or if there's violence, it's even worse. But another thing is, talking without thinking is like shooting without aiming. So people, all have different personalities, but some people have a slick mouth, a big mouth. They love to, shock, they're like a shock jock, they like to cause controversy. Is that the word? Controversy. They like to be controversial. They like the shock on people's faces. They want people to be like, what the heck did you say? Why did you say that? Like, they enjoy negative attention. I mean, they enjoy attention full stop, but if they can't get positive attention, they will happily hate bomb you, and the opposite of love bombing that narcissists do. Some people will constantly, deliberately provoke bad reactions in people. Why, I do not know. It's part of a narcissistic personality disorder, a malignant one, and it's very dangerous, because you could provoke a psychopath and it could have fatal consequences. So people should be careful. Do not talk without thinking. If you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, like we used to get told when we were kids. So guard well your own thoughts, and when alone, guard well your own thoughts when alone and your own words when with others. So I take that to mean be careful what you think, because your thoughts can become things. When you think badly of yourself, you will treat yourself badly because you are cultivating that negativity inside of your mind, right? And when you're alone, who else is around telling you these things? Obviously there could be intrusive thoughts like things you were told as a child, so you might have the memory of the voice of your parents telling you you're not good enough, but then you have to be strong enough to fight those interjects and intrusive thoughts and voices and say, no, I am good enough, you're a liar, you were wrong, my parents were wrong, these thoughts are wrong. Because you can't stop the thoughts. That's the thing. You cannot really stop the thoughts, but you don't have to react to them. You don't have to act on them. If I have the thought of, oh, I miss my ex, even though he was so horrible to me and cheated on me and argued me and did all these things to me during the relationship, but there was one tiny moment, or the sex was really good, or, when he wasn't being abusive, like, oh, I'm going to go back for that one reason. And you're doing yourself a disservice. You're letting yourself be controlled by illusions and denials and delusions. You have to be super, super careful when it comes to your own role, the role you play in your own suffering. So if going back to that person, they might assault you again, they might start being controlling again, they might violently hurt you again. If you already know this is proven facts, they've done it before, they did it again, and you choose to put on rose tinted glasses and go back, and it keeps happening and happening and happening, then who is to blame there? Obviously, yes, there could be a trauma bond that they help create in you, but it's not our fault the abuse people subjected us to, the things that have happened to us. It's not our fault, but our healing is our responsibility. It's very important that you take charge of your own life. Your healing comes down to you. No one else can heal you if you don't take the steps to heal yourself, you see. So, and also, do not follow the same old path as everyone else. Make your own path, carve your own lane. You don't have to follow anyone. It's okay if you admire people, and you want to get tips from them, or do things similar to them, but be original. You don't have to copy everyone else and be like a sheep. And people tend to dress the same. In London, it's so boring. You rarely see anyone dressed in like unique, beautiful outfits. Everyone goes to the same ugly shop like Primark or something, and everyone's wearing the same cheap Primark shirts and suits and trousers and shoes, and you're just like, that's not even the cheapest shop. Like, there are other shops that are just as cheap, or markets or stuff where you can buy unusual, cool, interesting clothes. So people don't seem to wear what they want. They wear whatever is in fashion. They want to fit in. And I don't know why you would want to fit in with all these boring sheep people who all look the same, and they're all wearing the same ugly outfits, the same ugly hairstyle, same ugly makeup style even. It's weird. But yeah, it is progress. Sorry, even if progress is slow, quitting won't speed it up. So just keep going and never give up. That's something that we need to remember, because there's just so many times where we're like, what's the word? Like, people are never satisfied in this world most of the time, and they're in a rush. They're super impatient. They're not willing to wait. So if progress is slow for anything they want, they just give up before they're not willing to wait. And it's strange, because what are you so impatient for? Do you really think Rome was built in a day? You need to have patience. Not everything we want we will get. Sometimes we can't always get what we want, but we'll get what we need. God will make sure we're provided with what we need, the strength we need to cope with our life's mission, our life's plan and the lessons, the harsh lessons we have to learn here before we go home to our true home in the spirit world again at the end of this life. But yeah, it's really important for people to, don't give up just because things are taking a little bit longer. Yes, it's hard to wait sometimes, but have better self-control. Don't be so impatient, and then the fact is, like, when you get that thing at the end, if it's worth waiting for, then wait. Obviously do what you can, but don't be so impatient that you push your blessing away. So your strongest muscle and worst enemy is your mind. Train it well. So I'll read that again. Your strongest muscle and worst enemy can be your mind. Train it well. So that's true. Your mind controls everything. You could have, look at this new thing. Is it the Neuralink thing or something where they can put a chip or something? I don't know if it's a chip. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but something about where the person who has no arms and legs, they do something where their brain, they can blink and it controls the computer. They can think and it types on the computer. Like, how crazy is that? But their body is not working, but their mind is able to be synced up with this new technology and control it. So your mind is incredibly strong. If you have a weak mind, that it doesn't matter how strong your body is. If your mind is not strong, you won't get very far. You have to be mentally strong, because like this saying says, your mind can become your worst enemy, because it's holding all the thoughts, it's holding all the things you are feeding it. If you're feeding it with weak thoughts and fears, and you're not strengthening your mind, you're not staying mentally strong, you're not improving, you're not encouraging yourself, you're not uplifting yourself, then your mind will become your own worst enemy. So you must train it well, fill it with positivity and strength, things that will help you move forward and overcome things. Like, putting yourself down and calling yourself names is not going to help you. Your mind needs to be filled with good, positive things about yourself, and live up to those things you tell yourself. Don't just tell yourself you're good and then go out and mug old ladies, because then you're lying to yourself. You're delusional. You're a criminal monster. Like, don't actually be the things you are saying to yourself, so it's not a lie. Be kind, be good, be compassionate, be helpful, be decent, be reliable. Don't use people, don't ghost people, don't be a coward. Tell people the truth. If you don't want to talk to them, tell them that. If you don't want to be their friend, tell them that. If you don't want to date someone, tell them that. Don't be a coward. Don't make people feel like crap for no reason, especially good people who have done nothing to deserve it. So the next thing I want to say is, discipline is choosing between what you want now and what you want most. So, if you want something, but you need something now, but what you want is much harder to get. The discipline is choosing between, is priorities, really. That's how I take it. I take it to mean you have to have the self-discipline to prioritize what is important right now. Is it the superficial thing that I just want? Or is it the thing I need right now? It's like if you need to pay your rent, but then you like a beautiful coat and the coat costs the same as the rent. Now, you don't need that coat if you've got another coat, or you've got enough winter coats or whatever you need, but you've seen this beautiful coat and you're like letting superficial, materialistic things force you to waste your rent money on the coat. But then you're going to be sitting on the street corner in your pretty little coat with, an eviction notice stamped to your forehead because you didn't pay your rent. So you needed to pay your rent right now, but you didn't have self-discipline enough to do that. You could have bought that coat eventually by just putting some money aside, and then a few months later buy the coat, and then you still wouldn't have been in debt, and you wouldn't have, not paid your rent. So self-control, self-discipline is very, very important. and not enough people learn that. They want just self gratification right now, right now. Give me what I want right now. How dare you not give me what I want? And then they want to control others to get what they want, and that's not fair. That's not right. The world doesn't revolve around you. We all are in this boat together. Stop drilling holes in the boat so we can all drown. Like, help each other up, lift each other up, And also, someone else's success doesn't make yours any less. You see, help each other. So instead of being jealous all the time, be inspired by someone's success. Say, well, if they can do it, so can I. I mean, like, a friend of mine wrote a book, and I was so inspired to say, wow, I've been, wanting to write a book for years, but I've been too busy. And, I've always been so good at writing. I've always had like tons of ideas, and I was always a great orator, like public speaker, and people always tell me, oh, you speak so eloquently and beautifully, and what you say, if you don't say very much, say if you're quiet, you're observing in a group, but then when you do speak, you say the most poignant and helpful and interesting things. And I was like, oh wow, thanks, and I did feel that in myself, but it was nice to have someone confirm what I already knew. And I thought, wow, like, I really will make the effort to write a book. One will be a book of poetry, and one will be like a sort of self-help, or helping people, giving them tips about life lessons and things like that. I haven't got a name for the books yet, but I've been writing, part of it for like over a year, but I just been so busy, and then I got demotivated with some depression and other, difficulties in life. But then I just got so much inspiration from getting in touch with, some publishers and people, and saying, like, how can I go about this? I'm serious about this. And then I asked my friend again, how did you get your book published again? And he told me, and it was really easy. And it was, even Amazon, I heard, has like a free system where someone can write an ebook, and if it sells anything, they'll take part of the profit. But then it gets it gets up on a public platform. You don't have to have a massive £1 million book deal at a major publishing company. You don't have to start that way, because we're just regular people. But obviously I through my friend who published his book, I found some connections, but I still don't want to, like, I want to do the book. I just don't want to waste a lot of money trying to do it. So I would even choose the free way first to see, okay, does this work first? And then if that gets, picked up and it's really helpful and people like it, then it gives you the motivation to say, oh, okay, good, there's there's a gap for this kind of thing. People want to hear, these helpful things, read this. So yeah, and anyone can do this, anyone. Like, you just have to be motivated and go forward and have the time and the drive to do it. So yeah, but also sometimes in our lives we create our own heartbreak. And what I mean by that is, like, when we're giving too much to the wrong people, even if we felt something wasn't right, we saw the red flags, but we stayed in denial. Unfortunately, that's on us. We don't want to sometimes admit that we had a hand in our own suffering. That was something I found it really hard to admit. And I only could admit that recently, that there were times when I stayed in a situation, a relationship or a marriage, or longer than I should have done, because I was wanting to stay in denial and pretend that everything was okay when it clearly wasn't, when I clearly wasn't happy. And, so yeah, we have to be honest with ourselves and not lie to ourselves, and don't tell people personal stuff that can be used against you, because there are a lot of people who aren't loyal to you. You think they're your friends. You just automatically assume that when you tell them something, they won't tell anyone else, because you assumed you were friends. And it should go without saying that there is a code of silence and loyalty between friends. But nope, there are some people who will take what you say and gossip to others, and reveal your deepest, darkest secrets. And so even though it feels a bit lonely to keep everything to yourself, but no, it's protection, it's self-preservation. It's better than having people talking your business and gossiping about you, and then it shows they're not loyal to you. So the things that are important for you to control and nurture within yourself, and cultivate, is your self-esteem, self-awareness, self-improvement, self-reflection, self-control, self-discipline. These are things you must, keep working on and growing and strengthening in yourself. It's so important. Don't let anyone tell you who you are. You create who you are. You know who you are. And then that way it doesn't matter what lies people tell about you, because it doesn't matter. You know who you are, and anyone who truly knows you won't believe any lie about you. So the last little bit is, if you are a kind and caring, respectful person and are undemanding, reliable, and only ask reasonable requests of others, then don't let anyone make you feel guilty or bad for asking to be treated right or for asking for what you deserve. Know your worth. And that's all I have for right now. So God bless everyone around the world, and I hope you have a brilliant day, evening, or night. And I wish you love and protection. Bye for now.